All right, welcome back to the Muscle Maturity Podcast, episode number 62. I am John Hansen. I'm here with my co-host Samir Bannout. How you doing, Samir?
Doing good, John. Doing good, thank God. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was okay, pretty low key. Just stayed out here in Tampa. How about you?
Hang out with the boys, with Matthew and the gangs there.
Yeah,
So
Matt, my friend Rick. Yeah, we went to Rick's house.
yeah, Rick is awesome. I'm glad you had fun. I just stayed home, hang out with the boys, and we ate. I didn't eat turkey. I just
Mm-hmm.
I had more Middle Eastern, meals, and there was
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit of turkey. There's a little bit of turkey. But I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey has so much tryptophan for me. I'll fall asleep when I eat turkey.
Right, right.
But it was awesome. I load up a little bit, and look at that. It's all there. Yeah. I was
You
thinking,
gain
I said,
weight?
oh, John will be home. Not really. Actually, I dropped weight. I was 202 in Orlando. Now I'm down to 195. I'm like the stock market, John, ups and down. But feeling good. That's the most important thing. Yeah, I was just thinking, I said,
Yeah, for
John
sure.
probably visiting mom and dad at home, but I guess you're saving it for Christmas, huh?
Yeah, I'll be out there for Christmas next month. Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
I always go home for Christmas, but not always for Thanksgiving. Sometimes, but not always.
Mm. So what's new with the world of
Well,
bodybuilding, John?
Well, we didn't have any competitions. I think they're pretty much all done now. Well, I mean, we got the NPC Nationals, I think, coming up next month, believe it or not. That's going to be in
Mhm.
December, so that'll be a big one. But
Where at?
I think all the pro shows are pretty much still.
Where's that
It's in
contest at?
Texas, I think, this year.
Oh, okay.
The Nationals? Yeah, I think
Is
it's in
it Betty?
Texas.
Is it Betty Perizio? She's putting that show, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know who the promoter is. I think it's Gary Udit, probably.
Mm. Okay, that's
I
an
think he's the
interesting
one that
show.
does
It's
it.
a national. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what's the
Nationals
story,
is
John?
the biggest show.
I hear. What's the story on Hadi Chopin? I heard he got that hero welcome in Iran. Did you see that?
Yeah, he went home back to Iran, and yeah, what a difference between the way they treat bodybuilding in Iran and compared to America, right?
Unbelievable. They gave him a hero welcome. Look at that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
very honestly, it's a well deserved. I mean, this guy is the best to ever come out of Iran, and he's a nice
yeah,
man and really hardcore. I mean, I have to put him in the class of Ronnie Coleman and Dorian Nace. He's a hard worker. Hardy is really a hard worker. He's not a half-ass bodybuilder. And and really, if you meet him in person, I'm sure you have, is a really wonderful man. Wonderful man. Although he
yeah,
got a little emotional, but his emotion during that one show, it didn't come out of being angry. It was just kind of sad inside. But I'm so glad to see him treated like that, like a royalty in Iran. Look at that. Look at the people. Oh my God. So happy for him.
yeah, yeah. Even though he got second place, it doesn't matter. They're still treating him as a champion, you know?
Well, he is. Honestly, to me, it was such a close call. It was such a close call.
Yeah.
Honestly, he
Oh,
could have
yeah.
been Mr. Olympia too. He could have made two in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even
I
though
agree.
you and I put our money on Derek, but come on, he was really, really bad to the bone. He looked incredible. I mean, I think if he won, nobody would have complained. And so I'm just
Right.
happy for him. And I know he's going to come back with vengeance. And I'm sure, uh, you know, uh, the Olympia is going to get tougher and tougher every year. So but I'm
Yeah.
so happy for him to get that hero welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I guess the other topic we had was it looks like Regan went up like 40 pounds since the Olympia,
Oh,
and a
wow.
lot of these guys now, a lot of these guys are now rebounding. They call it rebounding after the contest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So about this, Samir, I mean, what causes this? What causes a guy to go up like 40 to 60 pounds in like 1 or 2 weeks after a contest?
Well, you came into
It's
the
just like
right
a
person
chemical
for the
reaction.
question. No, it's not chemical reaction. I think, look, a couple of times I gained up to 20 pounds in 3 days. But, the only thing is, it's kind of risky. You have to be careful. You got to, you put so much pressure on your heart when you
Yeah.
just drastically go up 40 pounds. It's a little crazy. I mean, look, he looks incredible, but that extra weight on the heart that came in out of nowhere, that's the only part that is not safe, But look at how he looks incredible. I love his body. Man, look, I mean, this man can be Mr. Olympia. I repeat, he can be. He just needed to hit it properly. He hasn't really done it perfectly, as far as I'm concerned. But when you gain 40 pounds, John, that means he competed with maybe 50% of glycogen into his body. And so when he gave his body additional
Mm-hmm.
food and carbs, like each gram of carbs you eat takes in 3.4 gram of water, John. And if you had, let's say, 3,000 gram of carb, multiply that by 3.4, and that's the fluid that goes in the muscle, and some of it, of course, is going to spill outside the muscle cell. The only side effect, John, in my
Right.
opinion, the only risky side effect is like I was talking about it earlier. Imagine you take 5 pound dumbbells and you hold it for 5 minutes. You will get fed up. Your shoulders can't take it. So when you put 40 pounds on
Mm-hmm.
that body, imagine how much pressure you put on the heart right there. So you have to exercise
Yeah.
caution when you do something like that. Even though it's not all Haagen-Dazs, it's not fat, it's mostly water in the muscle, but it's a lot of pressure on the heart. So, in my opinion, you have to be extra careful when you do that. And so, John,
So
it happened to me. Go ahead.
it's basically water then, right? It's like water from
Oh,
the diet. You know, he's eating more food, and then the water's going in the muscles as glycogen or the carbs. Yeah, the carbs and then the
yes,
water
yes,
retention.
yes. It happened to me, John. And really, I want to mention, like, after the Santa Monica Grand Prix, I did that. I went out and I ate for 3 days like there's no tomorrow. I went to Earth,
Mhm.
Wind, and Pizza. I ate everything you could imagine, but it was mostly carbs, fruit cake, pizza, you name it. I was just eating pasta, but my body fat was very, very low, and I competed somewhat depleted. And John, believe me, I blew up like a Goodyear blimp. I went to the gym not knowing what happened to my strength. I'm not accustomed to do
Mhm.
heavy weights for high. So I was doing bench press, John. I put 225 and the weight was like feather. Nothing. I was like, I'm not
Hmm.
lifting weight. 315. Oh my God. 405. I said, you know what? Let me go for 425. 425, 18 reps, John. And I probably could have gone more. So that
Wow.
some of the power lifters do that, John. They kind of deplete for a few days and they go crazy, and the
Mhm.
strength is like boom, rebound. But yes, it is risky when you have too much pressure on the heart, especially if you're older. You know, I mean, and I did that, I was
So
only like 25 years old. You see, so if I do that when I'm at this age, that would be very dangerous. So yeah, Regan did that. I think he's fine. He looks healthy, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. You really have to be smart about handling that. You've seen that before.
so
It
when they
happened
say
to
it's
you
a
too, John, a
rebound,
little bit.
yeah. When they say it's a rebound, does that mean it goes back down then after a while, after a few weeks? Or will he
Yeah,
stay at 300?
well, no, you could lose. I mean, that's mostly fluid in the muscles and outside the muscle cells. So you have intracellular and extracellular fluid, because you're not concerned
Yeah.
about competing. So you just ate. So you will have some fluid spilling over. It could be up to 10 pounds, and maybe another 20 pounds in the muscle, maybe 15 pounds outside the muscle cell. And so, yeah, the downside, John, it's health wise, it's probably not recommended, especially for the older crowd. So don't do that. So I did that
Hmm.
before, and I enjoyed that look. I felt like, wow, you feel the muscle is ripping. But yeah, that's what's rebounds, caused by
So if he gained
dieting too
40
hard.
pounds from his, if he gained 40 pounds contest weight and he's not that smooth, it's not fat. Don't you think he could
I'm
compete at a
sure
heavier
some
weight
of
than
it is fat
260?
too, John. Come on. I mean, he had to be
Because
gaining.
he didn't put on fat, right?
John, I lost you. I
I was
lost you for
saying
a
if
second.
Regan was 260 at the contest and now he's up to 300 in only like a couple weeks, it's obviously not fat. So don't you think he could compete at the Olympia at like 280 or 285? I mean, he's 295 now. I mean, couldn't he
Thank you.
compete like way big?
Thank you for saying that, John. I think he could. That tell us that he could reach the 280 on the stage if had he load properly. And I think
Mm-hmm.
dehydration plays a role here. And I think he dehydrated too much, and he did lose, even though he wasn't completely full. Plus, he lost excessive amount of fluid, and that's why you get the 40 pounds. I would bet you there's at least 4 or 5 pounds of fat that comes with it. I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking what, 2 weeks after the show, right? That's
Right.
more than 2 weeks. Almost
Yeah.
what, 3 weeks now. So
2 or 3 weeks. Oh, 3 weeks.
yeah, it's mostly fluid in and outside the cell. And again, like you said, I would say he could have competed at least 10, 15 pounds heavier and probably looked better.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
I
I've
mean,
seen I've seen girls who did and their coaches have them on diuretics. I don't even know if they're taking steroids or not, but their coaches got them on diuretics, and they get off the diuretics and they blow
yeah,
up. Like they blow up 20 pounds of water. And that's just like, that's obviously a chemical reaction to the diuretics, right?
yeah, of course. You could get rebound from diuretic, of course.
Yeah. I've seen that happen to a lot of girls where they just blow up.
Well, it happened to me
And
at the
some of them don't.
79.
Okay.
Yeah, you were mentioning some women were using diuretic, excessive amount of diuretic, and rebounded a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty true. It's common. Jean, in 1979, when I competed against Sufo, I kind of cut my fluid quite a bit.
Hmm.
And it's the wrong thing to do. I was still in early stages, learning my body and stuff like that. So sometimes by not drinking water, you could retain water. You could cause aldosterone levels to elevate, and the water is pulled out from the cell to
Yeah.
create balance. And so I remember after I won, we had a party in Columbus, Ohio, and I drank about 25 bottles of Perrier. And Arnold looked at me and says, Arnold goes, Zamia, what are you doing? Are you crazy? I had one Perrier after another. I mean, live and learn. And like I said, I was in early stages learning my body and things. So, yeah, so the rebound is mostly fluid. And if you do it for 2, 3 weeks, I'm sure you're going to gain fat with it too. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
But
it's
it's
not,
also him, like in Regan's case, it's also him eating a lot of food too, because all that
oh,
glycogen is going into the
yeah,
muscle.
he has to. He has to. I mean, he must
Yeah.
have eaten thousands of grams of carbs. And I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
need to. He didn't need to diet right now. He needed to just give his body, the body breathe. But still, when you gain that shocking amount of weight, 40 pounds, that's a lot of weight, John. So I mean,
Yeah.
some people would do it with diuretics in order not to put too much pressure on the heart. And so, I mean, diuretic is a no-no anyway to start with. And I think part of it, Regan was too dehydrated. And I saw him backstage at the Olympia. He looked good, but I know he wasn't 100%. If he was, I'm telling you, he's a force to reckon with. It's an incredible body. Even at 300, still look
Yeah, I
good.
could tell you from when I did those natural bodybuilding contests after the shows, I would eat a lot. I'd be off my diet the week after and I would eat whatever I wanted. Not that I was stuffing myself, but I definitely wasn't dieting anymore. And I would gain like maybe 5 pounds, maybe 7 pounds. I would
But
never blow up like 40 pounds.
well, you probably did it for one day or two. Probably Regan went on an eating rampage where he did it every day for a week or maybe 10 days.
Yeah.
I remember one thing.
But it
Some
seems
of
like,
the athlete John, some of the athlete, you know, they could probably be using a little thyroxine, okay? Maybe T3. So when you cut that T3, also, thyroid half-life is 9 days, okay? So once you get off that thyroid, things slow down too, and the storage become even faster, okay? And so
yeah.
the variety of things. Diuretic, you will have a rebound for sure. Even if you take a diuretic today, you have to wean off of it slowly. You cannot sharp cut it and then expect your body not to rebound. If let's say you take in
Mhm.
20 milligram, let's say someone took 20 milligram of Lasix. If you want to avoid rebound, what you go do, take 10, you take 5, and you take 3, and then the body make it fade slowly. But cutting the drugs cold turkey
Right.
like that, rebound is 100% to be expected. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's a science
Well, I think,
behind it, and unfortunately, there's a lot of drugs used in bodybuilding now. Not like when you did it, John. You did it all natural, and that's why you didn't rebound more than 5 pounds, maybe 6 pounds.
right. Right.
So I think that's the difference. I
Yeah.
rebounded close
Oh, yeah.
to 15 to 20 pounds almost. I did.
Yeah. Well, I think Ramon Guest posed somewhere too, and he gained, I don't know how much he gained, but he gained a lot of weight too.
I saw the video. I saw that video earlier of him. He seemed like to put on at least 15, 20 pounds too. He probably
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
freaky in his clothes, but when he poses, he don't look as good. You see? Yeah, you see. Look at the calves
Yeah.
fuller, the muscle are fuller, but you could see there's tons of subcutaneous fluid on him right there. So even though he's maybe
Hmm.
15 pounds, he looks smaller now when he poses. But we
Yeah.
know he's at least
Yeah.
15 pounds bigger. But so you lose that
Right.
onion skin. You just get smooth, excessive fluid.
Right.
you
Right.
you notice the detail. You notice that the fluid under the skin is all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it still look good. I
I'm
mean,
sure
he's
he
still a
feels bigger.
beautiful body.
But
Oh, if you probably see him in clothes, he would look like twice as big. You blow up
yeah.
like a balloon. Yeah.
Right.
You see the separation, his sides are gone, not as deep, and
Hmm.
yeah, it makes a huge difference. Where is he guest posing
Yeah.
here in United States? It's an MPC Master, Brazil. Oh, that's in
Brazil, it looks
Brazil.
like.
Yeah, I'm telling you, detail makes you look bigger. When you lighter under the light, you look a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, he was impressive. Seriously, I feel that he pushed Chris Bumstead pretty much. And the thing is, I didn't hear that he got any first place vote. You know,
Hmm.
but I think he's capable of getting at
Yeah.
least
I
a
think,
first place from someone. But you know, but Bumstead is. super shredded again. Yeah, that rebound, man, it's a topic that should be talked about, should be discussed because it should be done the healthy way. It is unhealthy to put on
Mm-hmm.
40 pounds like Regan did. I think it's not healthy. Definitely not. And like you said, this is not going to stay. Most of that fluid is going to fade away. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's mostly because of the eating and the drugs combined, right? I mean, the only way you could avoid it would be just kind of stay
Well,
on your diet.
well, the drugs are still in his system. I mean, it's not going to go away right away. I mean, I don't know. Certain drugs have a half life of at least 2 weeks. So he still have the effect of, he still have the anabolic effect. So yeah,
Yeah.
even on steroid, you got to do it
All right.
slowly. You can't cut it cold turkey.
Yeah. They had a Dubai show, I guess. So Phil Heath and Ronnie Coleman were there, and they were talking about their rivals on stage. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
Phil was talking about, he was talking about his rivalry with Kai Green, I guess.
I witnessed all of those. I was there watching from close up, and yeah, that was a good rivalry.
In Dubai.
No, no, no. I saw every competition between Kai Green and Phil Heath. I watched all of them, and I was
Oh
there
yeah,
live.
yeah,
There was a major rivalry.
yeah,
I mean, they both have a different kind of physique, but they were both impressive, and they clashed. They almost got in fight. you know, but
yeah,
I kind of like these days of bodybuilding. They were like really intense, and Phil Heath
yeah.
can
It makes it more
pose.
fun.
Yeah, it's more fun. I mean, Phil Heath can pose. I love the way he flow. Phil Heath has got beautiful flow to his body. Um, Kai Green was massive, and he gets super ripped too. So the only difference between the two is the physique. I felt Phil
Mm-hmm.
Heath's physique flow better than anybody, to be honest. Let's give him the credit that he deserves. Now, Kai Green is an incredible poser. He knows how to make it rhyme. He knows how to move, he slide. I think Phil Heath is a better poser. Look at that. Look at his waist. But Kai Green here looks incredible. Unbelievable.
He's
I don't
wider.
know what happened to Kai. I mean, in this shot here, it's either way. Anyone's call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. Look at that. They got on each
Do
other
you think?
nerves.
Do you think Kai ever should have beat him?
Well, sometime on quality, I was leaning toward Kai Green, but then when you look at the physique flows, I'll tell you what, Phil Heath won the Olympia time for a reason. He's got that pretty flow to his body. Okay, maybe I think Kai Green was worthy of an Olympia too. I mean, he was like in here, really impressive, very very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of muscle, ripped to the bone, and you know, for me personally, I'm leaning toward Phil Heath's physique. Okay, they were both massive. They were both in shape. Couple of times Phil was slightly harder than Phil, but then Phil had the
Mm-hmm.
flow, the overall flow. You see, and so no disrespect to either one of them, but that was a good rivalry, Jean, and enjoyed watching it. And so what was their main discussion in Dubai? What they're talking about that, right? Look at that,
I don't know.
man.
I
They
didn't
were
see it.
intense. Hmm. I mean, look at now. Phil let his stomach go out here. You see that's right there.
Yeah.
Phil didn't hold his stomach, although even when Shawn Rhoden won, rest in peace, I still like Phil Heath's physique. And Shawn Rhoden was more ready, was better, tighter midsection, and I think that's the reason why Shawn Rhoden beat Phil Heath. But Phil Heath's body is just amazing, man. He appeared a couple of times, not as good, but the first 4 years of Phil Heath were unbeatable. He was unbeatable the first 4 or 5 wins. The last 3 wins, then he started having the middle. His midsection wasn't as tight, and I don't know.
What do you think?
I think he had a hernia or something that actually has some major issue in his abdominal. He was unable to flex his abs.
What do you think Phil had him beat?
Phil has the body that flows, okay? And if Phil kept his stomach, if Phil had the midsection that he had the first couple of years, he would have probably broke the all-time record, in my opinion. And but Jim Manion, he said, you know what? Jim Manion, I was talking to Jimmy personally, he said, you know what? I got to put an end to the stomach here. I want to have a tight abs. Jimmy, he said, Samir, to me, Jimmy was against those, like bloat in the middle. Okay. And I think that stomach issue with Phil cost him the last show against Shawn Rhoden. And Shawn was really prepared. So Shawn was in very, very good shape.
Oh, yeah.
But I was sitting there with Tom Plass in the first row. Honestly, I was undecided who should I go for. But then when you look in the middle, the midsection, Kai Green had a lot. Shawn Rhoden had a lot tighter midsection than Phil. You see it right there. You notice that he cannot flex the lower abs. And this is what I was there. I was right behind the judges. Look, you see the midsection.
Yeah, I didn't think this contest.
You see the lower abs at Phil. He's having an issue of flexing it. You notice?
Oh, yeah, it was horrible that year.
Oh, well, he couldn't. So, look at his belly button sticking out. And Shawn was ripped. But to say Shawn had better physique than Phil, I'm sorry. Nobody has better physique than Phil. Phil's issue, his biggest dilemma was his middle the last couple years of his competitive days. I don't know. I still think if he could fix that problem and come back, he could. The guy's he's gifted. They call him the gift for a reason. Look at the calves.
You think he could still come?
Do I think he can come back? If somebody said there's some nerve damage in the area, in his abdominal, which if you have a nerve, it's getting very hard to control flexing the stomach. Look at his physique. It's just, he's blessed. Look, what do you think, John? Just look at this. Shawn.
I think he deserved to lose this show.
Yeah, what really cost him the show is his ab, his lower ab.
Yeah.
His arms is incredible. His legs are incredible. Look at his hamstring, calves. Phil Heath is blessed. He's got great genetics. Look at that. He owned that shot. But you see the middle right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See? Look at the stomach.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, yeah. Look at how Shawn Rhoden, he beat him in that shot easily. And so
not only in the shot, but when Phil Heath is standing relaxed, it's just sticking out all the time. Not just in the pose, but all the time.
You look at the middle. I was talking to Frank Zan before. Said you win the contest in the middle most of the time. Your abs and your upper thigh.
Right.
And look at Phil's abs right there. It hurt him. So he was injured. Whatever is the injury issue, it stood in his way for making it a win. Look at traps, shoulders, arms. The guy's got incredible physique, diamond calves. He's missing nothing. He just had that one issue. So
yeah.
Look at his lat. Phil was a badass. He was.
So Phil became better because of Kai Green? Like they had that rivalry going because Kai was second for 3 years in a row. Do you think that made Phil a better bodybuilder?
Maybe yes or no. I mean, this is the time when you start getting the stomach issue. Whatever he did, maybe he have some hernia or whatever it is that caused him rip in his abs that could not recover from it. But he probably pushed himself harder than usual. But I mean, yeah, that rivalry right there kept him like trying very hard to keep his title. You were there, John.
What about when I was
You
there
were
when
in
Shawn
Vegas.
Rhoden beat him? Yeah,
Yeah, I remember you were there, and Tom and I were there too. Remember? We're all hanging out.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, there is some competitive. I mean, I would like to see Ron Coleman at his best versus Phil Heath at his best.
Yeah. Who do you think would have won?
What? uh, on the upper body, you can't beat Phil Heath. I mean, you can't beat Ron Coleman. Upper body is like
Right.
the shoulders to waist ratio is insane. But I think on the package, where you have the flow at Phil Heath was very, I mean, hard to put up with, honestly. But the way his legs put together, Phil, was the upper body make him a complete with a flow. Ron Coleman was a monster when he shredded. You can't mess with him on top, and we know that with Flex Wheeler tried to go against Flex at his best went against Ronnie, and you know what? Honestly, I look at the photo. Nobody could really shake Ronnie at the time. Just so massive.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie was so striated in the chest. His waist was small. He's like he gets super shredded. Ron Coleman, one of the few Mr. Olympia that actually had 24K a couple of times. 24K quality. Look at that. I mean, right there, honestly, who would you vote for? I told you, upper
Well,
body,
Ronnie.
you gotta go. Well, Ronnie, but is this actual photo or someone put it together?
No, no, they never competed against each other.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? But look at the shoulders to weight ratio, and Ron Coleman is
Yeah.
freaky, man. His legs are freaky and cut, but I would just say the diamond calves of Phil that matches his upper body, even though Phil is not standing properly here. Um, it would be a tough competition, man. It would be tough competition. Definitely, Ron Coleman will win the top, and the legs probably would go toward Phil Heath. Maybe not the size in this, but yeah, I mean, you got to see more photo. But I tell you, Ron Coleman at his best, insane. What do you think?
Yeah. I think if it was Ronnie from 1998, 1999, he would have won easy. I don't think it would have been close.
I wouldn't say easy if Phil Heath was on top of his game. I just love the flow of Phil. You see, Phil is look, even though Ronnie's look more massive, more glued, but Phil has that flow. Not he's not as ripped as I didn't think Phil was as ripped as Ronnie at 2000, 2001. I've never seen any Mr. Olympia as ripped as him. Maybe I was, but he was shredded to the bone. I don't know if I told you, I went up to, I had with me Prince Jassim bin Abdulaziz with me, and he admired Ronnie, and they want to give him an award from the royal family. So I went up to
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie's room, and I see Lou Ferrigno walking out, and it was Lou Ferrigno was saying, "Oh my God, I've never seen anything like Ronnie Coleman." Lou was like freaking out. So when I saw Ron, I looked at him. I was like, "Oh my God!" And the prince looked at Ronnie like, "Oh my God, what is this? Like it's like a cartoon character, ripped to the bone. I mean, onion skin."
Yeah.
And he was close to 290. Unbelievable. So that day,
Yeah.
I don't think Phil Heath could touch Ron Coleman.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
2000 or
Ronnie got bigger
2001?
later.
I'm not so sure. Excuse me.
Ronnie got bigger in his career, but I thought his best years were the first 2 years, 98 and 99. I think that was when he was at his best.
Yeah, but you notice though, Jean, after 3 or 4 years, it started like going down. Something happened to the middle. And I noticed during that
Yeah, well, he
era,
gained.
most of the guy at the time, they had issue with visceral fat. Okay? They
Mm-hmm.
all had some issue with visceral fat where everybody was talking about pregnancy, pregnancy. And so it's all because of what was being used at the time. So you see now, Hani,
Mm-hmm.
Brown Boy, he changed things around. Now you see his guys don't have a problem. If you look at Hadi Chopin, you look at Derek, you look at Sebum, they're all pretty tight in the middle. So he knew what to do, and he
So why?
probably is not, he's using the right stuff basically. And so, if you ask me what's the right stuff, I'll tell you what's the right stuff. Okay, and so look at Ronnie. I'm talking about Ronnie here. Look at that quality. Oh my God, in the '99, woo! And so if you look at Ronnie at 2000, nowhere is prettier. Not as pretty. He started losing it. Look at 98, 99. I love that look in '99, and then
Right.
look at it in '84. I mean, in 2004, 2005. It wasn't my best look for him is '99. It was unbelievable.
Me
And
too. Yeah.
oh, but look at, I mean, you could tell the quality, the onion skin. It's clear. It's
And you know what he
clear.
weighed in
I
'99?
really have no idea. What do you think? You
250.
see, but he looked the best. I mean, he didn't need to be 290. But let me see.
No.
You have 2001. I don't know, was it 2000? I don't know what year. Was it 99 or about the time? I think when I saw him was 2000. Not all these pictures are giving him the proper, uh, you know, he just looks better at 99. I just love that quality. Look at how tight and slick the waist. In 2002, starts getting blocky. 2005, not as
Well,
bad.
he got
What's that, John?
he got bigger every year. That was his problem. He should have just stayed around like 257, 260. You know.
I agree. And this is what really causing the problem about it. You get bigger and bigger, bigger, thinking that you're going to get better. You're not going to get better.
Right.
Look at that paper thin skin in '99. My God. I mean, if he looked like that, it'd be unbeatable. I mean, he was unbeatable at the time. You got to have
I
that
mean,
quality.
look at guys like Frank Zane and Arnold. I mean, Zane, like even or Lee Haney. I mean, they didn't just go for size. You know, they went for quality every year. You know, they weren't just chasing that size because I think when you start chasing that size, that's when you ruin your physique. You ruin the quality of your physique.
1,000%. 1,000%. I
Yeah.
mean, like when I go to uh, when I talk about Regan Grime and his potential, he was if he had that quality that Ron Coleman have in '99, that slick paper thin skin. My God, he's be easy
Mm-hmm.
right up there with Hadi, Chopin, and Derek. I'm telling you, I am not. I wasn't born yesterday. I understand the game. I mean, what does Regan Grime missing? Shoulders incredible, chest amazing, huge round arm. He's got everything. If he get that paper thin skin, he had to change some of the things he's doing. I'm sorry. I know I'm not gonna complain because his coach Milos is he knows what's happening, and I insist that trying to say super massive in the final couple weeks, you try to dehydrate. It's not working. It won't work. It does not work, Jean, when you're using certain cocktail or what we call it compound. Some of the compound
Mm-hmm.
You just cannot get that paper thin skin. I'm gonna grow fucking hair on my tongue talking about it. Look, I have hair on my tongue. Come on. You have to get that paper thin skin to be Mr. Olympia, okay? Hadi Chopin, he did a good job. I mean, Hani Ramboyd, he's doing a good job with his athlete. As you can see, Chris Bumstead is getting that paper thin skin. Until you get that kind of quality, your chances of winning the Olympia is very slim. And so I sincerely mean it. Regan Grime is belong in the winner's circle every single time. Quality wise, in presentation, all of those have to come. They come to play, John. No bullshit. Believe me, I'm not. I'm not against anybody, and I really wish the best man win. I go back again and I say, uh, you know, who would predict to win the Olympia again next year, John? Derek. I would say Derek still has the best potential, the best package put together, but Regan Grime get that onion skin quality. Guess what? I would put him right up there. I will put Regan Grime right up there, but he has to get that paper thin skin. And when you try to lose every milligram of water, subcutaneous fluid, but you did not have the thin skin enough. And so when you try to do it with diuretic, you are losing more fluid from the cell. It is not enhancing that sharpness. It's not. Why? I've been there, done that, and I know some of those some of the adjustment is needed for him to do that, and it can be done. Sure, it can be done. Sorry, I'm sure Milos, he's experienced enough, but he should recognize that, that keeping these compound, it will interfere with that kind of quality. Now, for example, Crizo have no problem with that. Crizo have that paper thin skin. He's a poor poser. He just doesn't show it right. Okay, so
right.
I think some of the compound has to change for guys like Regan to shine, and he could. It's just that, John, you competed million times. I competed lots of time. I've learned, and I'm fully aware what's needed to get that saran wrap onion skin. You gotta have that. As of Ron Coleman in '99,
right?
C-Bum is doing it. Why is C-Bum doing it? Why
Yeah.
not Regan? Why Regan Grime isn't doing that? If Regan Grime get that quality of Bumstead, well, I know, Hani Ramboyd is doing different than what Milos is doing. Again, Chris Aceto is doing a good job on Ramon, and you could see Ramon's skin was very tight. Okay, now for example, we talk about guys like our German friend Urs. Urs had the quality, but he still need the necessary mass. Now, Urs doesn't have the mass that Regan have, and if Regan have the Urs quality, he'll be like easily in the top 3 in the Olympia. You agree, or what do you think, John?
I don't know. I just haven't seen Regan bring it. I mean, everybody talks about his potential, but I just haven't seen it. I think I think he still has to work on his physique a lot more, and he just doesn't have the quality. And
thank you.
I don't know. Maybe he's got potential, but I don't.
That's all I want to hear. You just said it. He just doesn't have that quality needed. Besides, even he's posing a little bit better now, he still has to improve in this area, and he has to get the quality of Bumstead, of Urs, of Hadi. He get that quality and is instantly in the winner's circle. And yeah, I dwell on that topic of Regan because I know how much potential he has.
I mean, I think his arms need to be better. I think his back needs to be better. I mean, if you're talking about guys who could win the Olympia, yeah. I mean, I think, like Andrew Jack, Samson Dauda. I mean, those guys can step into the winner circle if they improve their physiques. But I just don't see it with
Look,
Regan. I don't know. He
no,
just doesn't
no,
impress me
no.
that much.
Look, Regan have the package. John, trust me. I know I'm not forcing you to like what I like. From my perspective, Regan's package as put together, even his posing is he's making himself look worse. Sometimes he doesn't lift his torso. He doesn't lift up. He's just like hunched down forward. But the paper thin skin is what I'm talking about. Don't tell me his arms aren't big. His arms are big. His shoulders are incredible. His waist is small. He's got legs, he's got calves. He's missing nothing. He is missing quality. Let's not bullshit ourselves. And I'm telling you, I like the guy. I met Regan a couple of times. And besides, we're not talking about his personal, how nice or whatever. But if he put it together and get that 24 quality, he's instantly in the winner's circle, in my opinion. And what do I know? Maybe not enough, John, but I would put my money on him to get that paper thin skin. And I guarantee you he'll be in the top 3 in the Olympia. That's what I think.
He's got to prove it to me. I haven't seen it.
I just haven't seen it yet. That's what we're talking about. He has to get that condition. Oh, and you tell me, why did he gain 40 pounds? What does that tell you? So that means he was dehydrated, beyond dehydrated, and with all that, his skin was not saran wrap. So it's not about dehydration. You have to change the compound a few months ahead, so you lose some of the thickness on the skin, and you're gonna have that paper thin skin. If you don't have the paper thin skin, you're not going to be as effective at the Olympia stage. It's true.
Yeah.
It's water war, John. It's water war. That's what I tell people. It's a water war. If you don't have the paper thin skin, you need to have thin skin. See what I mean? Thin skin?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the other story of the weekend was somebody posted a video of Ronnie crawling on stage at that Dubai Muscle Show. I guess they had a booth there, and he was doing I think he was doing a seminar because they had a couch, and he had the people there were trying to help him, but he just crawled on stage toward the couch, and then I guess somebody posted the video, and people have been criticizing it.
That breaks my heart. That really breaks my heart. He's one of the strongest bodybuilders of all time, one of the best bodybuilder ever, a warrior, and now to see him in this position, and he's still young, it's just, I don't know what to say. I mean, Ron Coleman is a wonderful human being. He's a true warrior, but this kind of scene bugs me. Honestly, I from my perspective, look, I did crazy stuff myself. I put 700 pounds on my shoulders doing half squat with it, where Joe Gold was screaming at me. But when you try to go 800 pounds for reps, do you see the necessity, Jean, of doing some First of all, his legs were huge. So why would you do 800 pounds? I mean, this is really uncalled for. Once you reach a certain level of mass, you don't need to get any bigger. And see, most of the problem is with Ronnie is his hip, both sides, and the knees is like messed up because of that, I'd say. What do you think? It's the wear and tear of excessive weight.
I mean, I know he's had back fusions. I think he's had like 18 surgeries on his back, I think.
What do you think about that, John? How do you feel about that? I mean, should people learn from that and not to go crazy? I mean, we're not saying don't train hard. But sometimes intensity is more important than using beyond excessive weight. So there's a difference.
Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah.
Intensity is one thing, John, and excessive weight is another thing. And so you want to use weight that's heavy. First of all, once you get to the size you want, there's no need for you to go excessive on the weight. I mean, he could have done
Right.
600 pounds easily and comfortably, but 800
Right.
pound for high reps. I think he did it for many reps, didn't he? The 800 pound,
No, he only did
and
two.
that's beyond unhuman. 800 pound all the way down, and then he said lightweight, baby. Yes, it was a lightweight, but the competitive in his in Ronnie was unbelievable. He's like a true warrior. But the consequences, the price he's paying now, it's really not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, well, he's a bodybuilder and he was training like a power lifter, and there was no reason to train. Like we just looked at all the pictures of him when he won the Olympia, and we both said his best look was the first couple of years, the 98, 99, when he was 247, 257. So
Mm-hmm.
he didn't need to be
No,
300 pounds in the off season. He to be like, I mean, I remember one year he competed, I think he was 294 on stage. I mean, that's just huge. That's just way too
not,
big. And he lost the quality, you know? So he
it's
didn't need that. He didn't
unnecessary.
need all that.
And
Right.
remember, Ron Coleman
But
did a natural
I see
bodybuilding
all
for at least 9 years.
the bodybuilders today. All these young bodybuilders today are doing the same thing. They're training super, super heavy. They're doing heavy deadlifts, heavy squats. You know, there's a lot of bodybuilders now who are squatting 700 pounds. It's not unusual anymore, you know. They're doing hack squats with like 8, 9 plates on each side. They're doing deadlifts with, 700, 800 pounds. I mean, I see it all the time on, on social media. I see all these pro bodybuilders doing all this massive, massive weight, you know?
I trained heavy at time. Even when I was in Michigan, I did 585 for 5 reps, all the way down. And that was
Yeah.
honestly, I look back on that. Was that necessary? I don't think it was. I mean, for me, Tom Platz didn't go 800 pounds or 700 pounds. Look at how big his legs. And so I don't know. It's just some people are like born warrior, and he have no boundary, and he just want to get better and better. Sometimes we get irrational by using excessive weight. I look back and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I look at back and I'm thinking I'm crazy. Couple time, like I said, I was doing half squat with 700 pounds, where Joe Golden screamed at me. I mean, like, I was just a wild
Yeah.
kid. I want to win. I want to have that. But is it really necessary? It wasn't. I did better when I did 405 for
Right.
10, 12 reps. 405, 450. I didn't need to go more, John. I did hack. I pumped up my legs so much I couldn't even walk after the workout. And my legs were
Right.
matching my body. So Ronnie's legs were huge. So the 800 pound, they were not necessary, in my opinion. He could have done just enough with 600, and and his hip would probably been okay now.
I just talked
Yeah.
to Shawn. I was talking to Shawn over the weekend because I was looking through these old magazines, and I saw an old article with him from Ironman magazine, and I sent it to him. And he said something really smart, and I thought this was really, really insightful for bodybuilding. He said that a lot of bodybuilders look at numbers. How much do I weigh? How much weight am I using? And he said bodybuilding shouldn't be about numbers. It should be about the look of the physique. It should be about the beauty, how the physique looks. That's not measurements or your weight or how much weight you're squatting or, all that stuff. Those are all numbers and we're all going by numbers. But he said bodybuilding, it shouldn't be about numbers. And I thought that was
That is,
really, really smart. That was really insightful.
it is smart. It is smart. And it's all about intensity. I told you earlier, John, it's not the weight used. I mean, couple of times I used excessive amount of weight, but I went by how I felt. But I never really want to go with like 700 pound squat. What for? Even though I tried to do, half squat was heavyweight because that fiery in me at the time, I just couldn't control myself and I went crazy. But really, my average leg workout, I would just go 225, 315, 405, maybe 450. That's it, John. And I would go for high reps. I don't count set and rep. Just the intensity. We're pushing the muscle to get the maximum pump. That's all you need. Whether you're doing hack squat, whether you're doing leg press, go by how you feel. Pump the muscle where you can't do one anymore. So high intensity, short duration does work really good for me. I mean, I know
I'll
Mike
bet it.
Minster who uses heavyweight. You bet what?
I'll bet if you asked all these bodybuilders today, all the pros, every one of them, how do you measure progress? They would all say getting bigger, getting bigger. I weighed this much last year. I'm going to weigh this much this year. It's all about numbers. It's all about getting bigger. It's all much how much more they're squatting, how much more weight they're using. But if you look at like some of the best Mr. Olympias, like I remember Frank Zane, he was 185 when he won his first Olympia in 1977. And he looked at the pictures, and Frank thought he could have been more ripped. He was like, yeah, I look good. I won. I look good enough to beat Robbie and Ed Corney. But he goes, I could be more ripped. So the next year, he came in like 3 pounds lighter because he wanted to be more ripped. It wasn't about the weight. It wasn't about what he weighed. He didn't want to gain weight. He just wanted to look better, you know? And I think Lee Haney, same thing. Lee Haney, after he won in 1984, he said he was looking at the pictures and he's like, yeah, my waist could have been tighter. I could have been more ripped. So in 85 in Belgium, he came in like 3 pounds lighter. So there you go. I mean, there's 2 Mr. Olympias that won multiple times, you know, that they looked at how their physique looked, the quality. They didn't look at numbers. They didn't look at how much they weighed. Now all these bodybuilders, right? I mean, they all want to be bigger, 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 bigger. They're not looking at the quality. And then they go to the show and what happens? They don't look as good because they lost that quality. Like Ronnie did. Like Ronnie lost that quality, you know?
I agree with Shawn. What Shawn says is correct. And even though, he got a taste of his own medicine, he got big at a couple times where I think didn't look as good to me. He looked a lot better when he was around 205. When he went up to 215 and 18, he didn't look as good. I mean, I was very fortunate
Right.
to go to Germany. And the German are quality oriented. They just love quality. And I'm like looking good, and the Germans say, Samir, no, you got to do more. I mean, they were like thinking quality. And honestly, I was living with a guy named Joe Radwanski, and Joe, it was probably one of the guy that really helped me because every time I look in the mirror, I look good. And Joe said, you know what, Samir, a little bit more. I'm telling you, Joe Radwanski and what's his name, Erwin Knoller, both guys. They were like quality freak, and I was training with him.
Yeah.
And we didn't go extreme insanity with weight, but we pushed the muscle, we killed the muscle, and
Yeah.
they were like all quality. When I looked good 2 weeks before the show, I took my shirt off, like, wow, I was impressed. And Joe would say, no, Zamir, little bit more. And so I was at 196. So I really owe my German friends a lot for pushing me toward quality. And it really did make the whole difference. So I
Yeah.
probably would have looked better competing at 205. I guess suppose in San Jose was Lee Haney and Robbie Robinson and Boyer Cole at the time. And I was in good shape. I turned the house down. People were very impressed. But I left to Germany already in shape, John. So
Mm-hmm.
quality is the name of the game. Proportion and
Yeah.
quality presentation. This is why Shawn Ray did very well when he had that elegant look and he was ripped and he presented it so well. If you give, let's say, a guy
Yeah.
like Quizzo, if you put Shawn Ray's style of posing on Quizzo, it'd easily be in the winner's circle. So yeah, I have to tell you, Shawn is right, even though many times he's wrong. He's right on that one. Yep. Shawn and I, we always like argue about something, but when it comes to a certain thing, he's definitely pro quality. And, I admired him. I mean, Shawn could have been Mr. Olympia too. Seriously, he had what it
Yeah.
takes. Get a beautiful physique. I
Yep,
don't like
I
him
agree.
though. I don't like him though. Anyway, nah, Shawn is cool, man. He's a little crazy, but I love him.
And if anybody has any questions for us for next week, since we're not covering any contests right now, it's kind of a slow time of the season. So if anybody out there has any questions for the show, just write them in the comments, and we'll answer them next week.
Absolutely. Anything, guys, anything you want. It don't matter. Just ask and you shall receive. We will do our best.
All right.
And we just want you to
All right.
stay safe and healthy and keep it old school.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.